Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all glory, honors, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone for teaching this truth time and time again, showing us how to be men of the Lord, the water Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakadash. And I want to do in transit, quick in transit, just doing all the lessons. So the Lord he'll just put some stuff on your spirit and have you do it with your experience and everything that you have went through to edify. And so the Lord put it in a spirit for me to do this lesson. So Lord willing is edifying to the flock and to the elect. Lord willing, that I believe, and that's where we have to be a confidence on no matter what anyone says. That if you're doing the things that are right for the Lord and you're sincerely seeking the Lord, praying upon His name, that He's going to give you answers, and Lord willing, and to the elect. So this is where made me have the spark to this lesson, because I was in I don't know, like it was the Luke the 7th chapter, 1, 2, 3, 1 chapter, edifying, and he's like, I'm gonna read the next chapter. So I was in Luke the 8th chapter, and look at this. Let's get to what it sparked this. This is Luke the 8th chapter, verse 4. And when much people gathered together and were come to him on every city, he spoke a parable. So the Lord, when He's seen a bunch of people show up and we're able to hear, He was it's fishers of men. When you throw a net, most of those fishes are probably going to be unclean. There's more unclean animals and the animals that you can eat. That's what you pick few and have that selection. That's what kings do. They choose what they want to eat. So Yahushua waiting for when much people were speaking to him. Bear with me. Sloppy. Some reason it's frozen, but But the Lord, much people were speaking, and a sower went out to sow his seed. And a sower, or a husbandman, as well as a husbandman, a planter, he went and sowed his seed, as is the nation of Israel, getting these women that you find particular. It doesn't have to be an Israelite woman, everyone. And then you put your seed into them. And he sowed seed. And as anyone that grows, especially a lot, you want to put probably 4 or 5, but most of the time 3 times as much of what you want to accumulate, produce, than what seeds you ate. Because a lot of seeds, how you work it is like a seed literally has to be in like a dead state. Like you have to put in enough water, and it has to be in that period of time when it's just sitting in the water, and then it starts rooting, and starts getting that understanding, the basics. So some fell by the wayside, and it was trodden down, and the fowls of the air devoured them. So this is like like sunflower seeds. Those are that's a type of seed, and people eat those. But when you just sprinkle off, because when acorns and all that stuff, they fall straight from the tree, so they don't have anyone digging them and have anything. So that's what the great thing about the apostles and elders is. Just like they at least will drink, as a husbandman should be. They will dig trenches. They would dig which is even the I'm gonna just get it because to be edifying. Even if when they do that, they dig trenches, because even in a farmer, they'll dig trenches, they'll farm and do all that stuff, and they still, right now, since the GMO, genetically modified, they have like 220 per year. But the Lord, let me grab it real quick. This is Corinthians chapter 3, verse 6. I have planted, Apollos watered. The people that these farmers, these husbandmen, are teachers and elders and apostles, which have showed us the way of the truth, how to break it down and have it. But even all that stuff, you can have those perfect situations and that plant still will not grow. So our elders and apostles have planted, they have watered, as I put it in these different situations. They have challenged us through these things, but it doesn't matter because Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, was first and foremost the Son, gives us the increase. So he's the one that's going to plant us. He's the one that's going to increase, that we're taken to that soil and taking that foundation, because you can do all that stuff, you seed and all that stuff, but it doesn't matter. You're not going to grow into a full tree without being rooted. That's why they use sea mossy, all that stuff. They call them flats, but flats, even once they start getting rooted, but a root system that's going to be established, have that stability, which is the knowledge and truth. And he shall sow, and some fell by the wayside. This is Luke chapter 8, verse 5. And when they were trotting down the fowls in the airs and devoured them, all these other nations, these other philosophies, all this stuff, they seen what was going on, and then they devoured it. They either used it for their benefit. Oh yeah, look at the knowledge he has. I can use it to increase my company. Or look at that energy taken, because it's a lot of wicked men. You'll do it, and they just want to take that energy that you're receiving from the Lord, because that's high level energy. Men are like literally translating energy to another. So that's what and they just trotted it down like a mire of this. And verse 6, and some fell upon the rock, and as soon as it sprung up, it was aired for the lack of moisture. So some people, they have it, and they drop in it, and they start growing base, but they stop reading, they stop getting to the living water, the understanding, the precept. So they might have it, and they start growing that little bud, because you can grow and you can get that seed, and it starts rooting a little bit, but it's not rooting deep enough. It's in a situation that it can move, and it's not getting the necessary nutrients that it needs, which is the scriptures, which is our teachers. Romans, the 10th chapter. Can anyone learn or can anyone hear unless they have been taught it or preached to it, but know the name of the Lord, and to break the understanding, because there's a lot of things, the first time a child eats something, he doesn't even know what it is. He just knows it's good. And he has someone to explain it and what health benefits. Because some of the stuff that tastes the best are the worst for you. But then it's like, but then you found out something you ate that was nutritious. And that's when you have your teachers and you have your situation. But it fell down. At first, as soon as it got, the demons and all stuff, like, he got that. He can be something. He can sell out immediately. But then in the 7, verse 6, and it sprung onto a rock, is a tough situation, because when the tough situation, that's what makes a man. But it can also, two people are used, it can also be used. And those people that have been through all, that's what these Edomites, they do. They adopt children, because I was in this situation. They adopt children that went to the toughest situations, because they'll work harder. So you have to understand that. And as soon as it sprung up, it aired because of the lack of the moisture. He didn't have the knowledge. They didn't understand that. Never trust our enemy, that we have an enemy, that we have all these things. Verse 7, Luke verse 8, verse 7, and he fell among the thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked him. So all these wicked, because if you want to really know what wicked is, this is the wicked, and then it's the Jeremiah the 5th and 26th chapter, the wicked surpass the deeds of the wicked. Like Jake is wicked. So they'll pull you down, cracks in the barrel kind of thing, get you in a situation. Look at what they said to Yahushua, give us Barabbas. They'll put you in a situation. Like you hanging out. They said, let the just and the filthy be unjust still, or the filthy let's. They'll fuck your life up because it's just they don't have the necessary nutrients. They just devouring each other like weeds, like fucking like savages. So they'll choke you out. They'll like because trees are designed or plants are designed to grow as high as is possible to receive as much sunlight as possible. These thorns and thistles, they're designed to vine and weave themselves around those, so it chokes them out, so they get sun, but they're stealing the sun from them. That's how plants are designed. So when you have two thorns, they'll choke out a plant that will give you nutrients and all that stuff, bring forth its wickedness, draining and doing anything that possible. And he choked it out. In verse 8, and others fell on the ground and sprung up and bear fruit 100-fold. So those ones that put in the necessary area, got the necessary nutrients, which is these laws, statutes, commandments, these scriptures, which is the living water. These got put in these situations. So yeah, I got it. Got put in these situations. That it was better to be able to have everything it needed to grow necessary, to have a great root system, the basis, the foundations of the scriptures. Because you can grow and you can do anything, but if you don't put it in a good foundation, let me grab it. I'm gonna come back to that scripture. It's in transit, so you know. This is Matthew chapter 27, verse 20. And therefore, who's saying they saying unto mine, do I liken him to a wise man will build his house on a rock? You know, something that's strong, a strong base, a strong root system is going into that period. One that can, because like how roots are worked, they're the lungs of it. You know, nothing living can live off of nothing. They have to have their lungs have to have something that can they ingest that keeps them alive. That foundation, which is the breath, inspiration, nashama, or I believe it is, but that air, and for plants is water, and then the nitrogen. So just breathing off of that thing that can be goodly used to build forth the sources that they need. And I've been at this fucking light for almost 20 minutes. And I will liken him unto a wise man which built his house upon a rock. Like literally, how do you not move from one light for 20 minutes? But Salakia, and doeth, and I will liken him to a wise man who built his house on a proper rock. So when you build a house on a rock and not sand, because sand sinks, it's gonna get in a situation that's not moving. Satan, that's brothers, that's why you always go an hour early to work. And they rained a sin upon it, and floods came upon it, and wind blew it. If your plant is not properly rooted, just as your house, it will drown it. You know, too bitter. It's too bitter or too sweet that it caused you the belly to hurt. Put you in a situation that you have to get into a perfect situation that you have stability, and that stability is wisdom and knowledge. The wisdom and knowledge are Yahweh Shai, which is the stability because he'll keep you grounded, keep you into what you need to do. But what the fuck? What is this? Satan. And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine doeth not them shall be likened to a foolish man. Foolish, because you're not doing it. Is like I'm just like the brotherhood is important. It's important, but if you don't know anything about the scriptures and how the brotherhood working, you're not on a good foundation. You're gonna bring yourself upon wickedness. Yeah. No, Satan be working, so let's. And the sand and the rain will spin upon it, they're like you to a foolish man, and sand and rain upon it. What are you doing? And depend upon, and the flood came, and the wind blew, and beat upon the house, and it fell, and great was the fall of it. So when you don't have that root system, it's trees that can grow into other situations where other trees can go, but they're not totally rooted. So you can. Have you ever felt when you try to grab a weed, you can just pull it out immediately because it's devouring the other nutrients of the other plant. But that tree, there's no way they grow under a building. Like it's palm trees and trees that are likened to Israel. Like a palm tree, it can be a coconut can grow on a beach, which is the hardest thing to do because beaches literally purify water because it stops all the nutrients and let water all throw by. So it can grow and keep growing down until where it's no sand and get nutrients. That's how beautiful. This is Luke the chapter 8. Verse 8, and others fell on good ground and sprung up and bare 100-fold. And when he had said these things, he cried, he said, ye have the ears to hear, and let them hear. The ones that understand, hear the situations that are going, and it's like, yeah, I have it, and they're gonna put forth and do the things that the Lord has did. Has not the Lord gave us these the necessary waters, which is the truth, the necessary soil, which is but our teachers, that foundation that we can grow forth on that. But that's what the Lord likens that stuff to, and you can grow forth. It said a faith of. Let me grab it real quick. This is the word for faith. Faith. To trust or confidence in something or something else, something higher than us. My thoughts are from above. Your thoughts are from below. This is Matthew chapter 17, verse 20. And Yahushua said unto him, because your unbelief, for verily I say unto you, if your faith is as a grain of a mustard seed. Have you ever seen it's a small little tiny pebble that grows a tree that is not even concurrent to what it should be growing? But that's the face of a mustard seed. Grows into it doesn't grow into a tree, it grows into something far much massive. It grows into a forest because that tree will grow and then grow into this huge tree, which is so established that it won't die from drought, that it drops seeds, and they grow into a forest. And it takes a long time because it's so small, and it's he's not gonna grow. Look at that little thing. He's not gonna be that big tree. And then it grows, and then eventually, in time, it will drop seeds, and they'll grow the same tiny little massive forests, and it will grow in economy. So, the as a mustard ye shall say unto the mountain, remove from yonder. The users grow so massive as what Adam increased Abraham to an entire nation, or what how Israel, it's it's impossible to equate. And remove hence yonder, and it shall remove, and nothing shall be impossible unto you. So you'll grow so massive, you'll teach so many. It's just having a good root system, having a good foundation. So with that, I want to give all glory, honors, and praises to the Most High, Yahweh Bashim El Shai Bashim Kakadas. It's in transit, and sorry, I'm not very good at showing my face, but you see it. So with that, I want to give all glory, honors, and praises to Yahweh Bashim El Shai Bashim Kakadas.